You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com. Well, we're going to bring you in live, folks. Welcome to the broadcast. My name is Clint Davis, and we're about to kick this thing off. Dennis McCaslin is sitting to the left of me. Right now we're getting the starting lineup. Number 3, Paige Hughes. Number 15, Cameron Johnson. Number 21, Hannah Boyette. Number 23, Madison Chambers. And number 14, Taylon Collins. Got somewhat of a different look on the starting lineup tonight. Paige Hughes taking the place of number 33, Jalen Mays. And now we've got Spiro's lineup coming up next. Double zero, Cassidy Means making her way out to the floor. Tylia Clayton coming out next, number 10. Number 15, I didn't catch her name. Had too many syllables on that one. And I'm about to get my lineup back from Dennis. He's marking my starters, and we will have a jump ball pretty soon here in the middle of the floor. If you're listening on todayinfortsmith.com, thank you very much. If you're on our Mixler link, we appreciate you being there. I see several listeners in the live feed, so thanks for joining us from Spiro. Let me get my singing voice down. JC Cox, Hallie Harper, Hannah Tobler, Tylia Clayton, and Cassidy Means starting out for Spiro. And we're in the middle of the court. Here comes the referee. Calling his shot like Babe Ruth. There's the whistle. There's the ball up. Taylon Collins controls the jump over to Hannah Boyette. Madison Chambers on the left with the ball now. Pass back to the middle. Over to Hannah Boyette. Paige Hughes, top of the key. Over to the left, Madison Chambers. Dribbling around into the corner. Hannah Boyette for 3. Bingo. Start the game with a tray. Lady Bulldogs of Muldrow are up 3-0 over the Spiro Lady Bulldogs. And here comes Spiro down to their side of the floor. Shot up no good. Rebounded by Madison Chambers after a tip by Taylon Collins. Ball over to Paige Hughes on the right. Down to Cameron Johnson at the high post. She's going to have to get out of trouble. Ball over to Paige Hughes. Now Madison Chambers over to Hannah Boyette on the left. Madison Chambers with the ball now on the right wing. Looking around, looking down low. Didn't pull the trigger. Paige Hughes over to Hannah Boyette for another 3. That's off the mark. Paige Hughes with the rebound. Over to Madison Chambers. Down to Cameron Johnson. She puts up a shot, no good. That ball goes out of bounds. Last touched by Muldrow. Can't say Lady Bulldogs a whole lot tonight because everybody on the floor is a Lady Bulldog, except for the referees. Pass inbound. Full court pressure here from Muldrow. And Taylon Collins kicks the ball out of bounds. And here comes the inbound pass from Spiro. Still full court pressure. And a pass down low is broken up by Hannah Boyette. She's got the loose ball. Oh, and a pass down to Taylon Collins is no good. It went right through her arms and hit a cheerleader right in the mouth. And it looks like she's okay. Luckily, she's not wearing any braces. Here's the ball out of bounds by Spiro. Pass inbound. Taylon Collins with a steal. She loses the ball. Tylia Clayton with a shot up down low, and she's going to get fouled by Taylon Collins. They're going to call a foul on number 14. Tylia Clayton is at the line now. Here's the first shot up, and that's no good from the free throw line. Second shot on the way. Off the back of the rim, and it bounces in the hole. That's good for 1 point. Muldrow is up 3-1 now. 6:12 left in this first quarter. Hannah Boyette with the ball on the right side. Pass over to the left to Madison Chambers. Back over to Hannah Boyette, down into the corner to Paige Hughes. Back to Hannah Boyette on the right wing. Back to Paige Hughes. Back to Hannah. Madison Chambers on the left. Cameron Johnson in the corner over to Hannah Boyette. Faked the 3 and drove. Pass down to Taylon Collins. Shot no good. Hannah back up for a shot. That's no good. She gets her own rebound Goes up for another shot. That's no good, but she does draw the foul. Hannah Boyette shooting 2 free throws now. One at a time. There's the first one up, and it is good. 4-1 now. Muldrow leads Spiro. Second shot. Nothing but the bottom of the net. Hannah Boyette 2 for 2 from the free throw line. 5-1. Muldrow on top of Spiro. Lady Bulldogs in white, bringing the ball up the floor. Looking for a shot down low, and that's good for 2. 5-3 now. Muldrow on top of Spiro. Taylon Collins with the ball. Kicked it out to Madison Chambers. Jump shot up. No good. Rebounded by Spiro, and Taylon Collins comes away with it. Puts up a shot. No good. Muldrow is off tonight. Looks like everybody's having trouble. Taylon Collins gets whistled for a foul. We're going to have the ball out of bounds here on our side. Here's the ball inbound now to Spiro. Pass over to the left, looking for a place to go. Ball in the corner. Pass down low and back out to the wing. Looking for a drive. Got a little double dribble. Nobody called it. Cameron Johnson comes up with a steal. Pass over to Hannah Boyette, bringing the ball up the court for Muldrow. Paige Hughes with the ball. And she throws it away to Spiro, and they're on a fast break. There's a shot up off the glass, good for 2. And the score is tied 5-5 with 4:40 left in this first quarter. There's a pass over to Madison Chambers. Back to Hannah Boyette, down to Paige Hughes in the corner. Back to Hannah. She almost pulled the trigger on another 3 and laid off. Chelsea Passage in the game now. Hannah Boyette in the corner. Down to Cameron Johnson. She puts up a shot. No good. But she does draw the foul. Cameron Johnson going to the line for 2 free throws. Timeout called by Spiro. We're going to take one with them, and we'll be right back. You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com. Then we're going to bring you back in live. Clint Davis and Dennis McCaslin on todayinfortsmith.com. Got a tie score, 5-5 after the timeout by Spiro. 4:18 left to end the first quarter. Cameron Johnson fouled down low. She's at the free throw line. First shot up, no good. Getting ready for the second free throw. Shots up, that's no good. Rebounded by Cameron Johnson over to Madison Chambers. Over to Alicia McCloria now, over to Chelsea Passage. Back to McCloria, top of the key. Hannah Boyette moving around coast to coast here. Chelsea Passage with the ball. Cameron Johnson high post. Over to Hannah Boyette, all the way across to McCloria. Back up to Passage, down to Cameron Johnson. She turns around and puts up a shot. No good. The Muldrow Lady Bulldogs have missed 5 shots from point-blank range now underneath the basket. Cameron is going back to the line to try 2 more free throws. First shot up, no good. The Lady Bulldogs continue their ways of missing free throws. And I'm going to tell you guys, when we go to the district, regional area, and state tournaments, if we make it, these free throws are necessary. Second free throw good by Cameron Johnson, 6-5 now. Here's a steal by Hannah Boyette. She knocks it out of bounds. Spiro ball. Inbound pass now. Spiro going to do something on their end of the court. Ball over into the left corner. Back to the top of the key, over to the right. Shot for 3. No good. Rebounded by Spiro. Shot back up, no good. Rebounded by Madison Chambers. We got a fast break. Chelsea Passage is all the way down by herself. And that's 2 more points for Muldrow. 8-5 now. The lead by 3. Steal by Passage. Off to Madison Chambers, and she misses another shot down low. Right underneath the basket. There's a shot up on the other end by Spiro. No good. Hannah Boyette with the ball now. Chelsea Passage bringing it up the floor, and she's going to drive and put one up down low, and that's in and out. 7 shots now. That's in the first quarter, missed by the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs. And there is a loose ball, and that gets knocked out of bounds by Spiro. So Cameron Johnson now out of bounds, taking the ball out, pass in to Chelsea Passage. And Muldrow getting another chance to extend the lead, put some more points on the board. Alicia McCloria down to Hannah Boyette in the corner. Back to McCloria. Back to Hannah. McCloria again with the ball, over to Hannah Boyette. Back to McCloria. Here's a shot for three. Little off the mark. And the ball comes down into four arms, and there's a jump ball. That possession will stay with Spiro. Score remains 8-5. Muldrow with the lead over Spiro. 2:20 left in the first quarter. There's a steal by Passage. And 2 points in from Madison Chambers. That's what these Muldrow Lady Bulldogs plan to do every time when they get this full court pressure. Now here's Spiro on their way down to their side of the floor, and they cannot seem to hang on to the basketball. Ball on the outside over onto the left. Spiro Lady Bulldogs looking to put some more easy points up. Ball thrown away, and that will be Muldrow basketball. Cameron Johnson's going to take the ball out of bounds. Pass into Chelsea Passage, and here comes Muldrow on their way to extend the lead. The Muldrow Lady Bulldogs with 14 missed points underneath the basket. Cameron Johnson puts up a shot down low. No good. Gets her own rebound, kicks it out to Hannah B for three. That's no good. Chelsea Passage with the rebound. Over to Cameron Johnson. She puts up a shot down low, and that is good. For another 2 points, 12-5 now. Muldrow on top of Spiro, and here's Chelsea Passage with some good hustle. She knocks the ball out of bounds on a Spiro fast break. Paige Hughes coming back into the game now for Muldrow. The ball will be out of bounds. Spiro going to pass it in now. Over to the left side, a little bit of a drive and a kick out to the top of the key. There's a fake and a drive, and a shot up good. 2 more points for Spiro, 12-7, less than a minute left in the first quarter. Muldrow on top. Chelsea Passage now creeping past the half-court line. She's going to hold on to the ball probably for a solid minute. Over to Alicia McCloria, back to Passage. There's almost a steal by Spiro, and they knock it smooth out of bounds. That's going to be Muldrow ball. 32.9 seconds left on the clock. Ball inbound here to Chelsea Passage, bringing the ball up the floor. She's going to do a little drive and kick it over to Hannah Boyette. Back to Paige Hughes. Back to Alicia McCloria, 21 seconds left. Paige Hughes with the ball, top of the key. Passage not doing much here, 8 seconds left. Paige Hughes, somebody's got to get a shot off. Here's Hannah Boyette, 1 second left. She drives down and puts one up good. So at the end of the first quarter, the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs are on top of Spiro 14-7. We're going to take a 1-minute timeout, and we will be right back. You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com. Then we're going to bring you back in live, doing a little conversing with the referees here on the sideline. Here come the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs back out onto the floor. They will have the ball to start the second quarter. Cameron Johnson taking the ball out now. We get this horrible 90s music off the overhead, we'll be good. There's the ball inbound to Chelsea Passage. There's the ball over to the left. Alicia McCloria now. Down low. Nope. Into the corner to Passage. Thought she was going to chunk it. McCloria high post over to Boyette. She's going to pull up at the free throw line and put up a shot and get blocked. There's Passage with a shot. That is good for another 2. Muldrow Lady Bulldogs on top of Spiro, 16-7. 7.5 left in this second quarter. Here comes somewhat of a fast break for Spiro. Cameron Johnson with some good defense. Shots no good. Cameron Johnson with the rebound. Over to Paige Hughes, bringing the ball up the right side of the floor. Pass all the way up to Hannah Boyette at the three-point line. Back to Paige Hughes. Back to Hannah Boyette. Ooh, she almost pulled the trigger and held up. Passed it off to McCloria, and there's a bounce pass down to Hannah Boyette. We got a jump ball, and that will belong to Spiro. Number 14, Taylon Collins. She is 6'1", if she hasn't grown since the last game. Checking back into the ball game here for Muldrow, and there is Hannah Boyette reaches in, tries to take the ball away. They're going to whistle her with a foul. And here's the inbound pass from Spiro. Ball into the corner on the right side, up almost to the top of the key. To the high post, and a drive blocked by Taylon Collins. Pass out to the right corner. Right wing to the top of the key, loose ball. McCloria with the good hustle. Paige Hughes comes up with it. She's going to drive it down and put up a shot. No good, right underneath the basket. There's a steal. Paige Hughes has the ball now for Muldrow. Hannah Boyette for three. Off the mark. Taylon Collins with the rebound. Puts up a shot under the bucket. And that is good off the glass. 18-7 now. Muldrow with the lead over Spiro. Hannah better watch that reaching, but she does come up with a steal. And they're going to whistle white 10. That is Tylea Clayton. And then we're going to see Madison Chambers come back into the ball game here. Passage, Chambers, Boyette, Johnson, Taylon Collins into the ball game. Here he is, Cameron Johnson with a shot, no good. Rebound by Madison Chambers, stripped away by Muldrow. Cameron Johnson whistled for the foul there. Ball will go back towards Spiro. There will be, what in the world just happened? Okay, Hannah Tobler with the foul, number 15 on Spiro. So here is Chelsea Passage with the ball over to Madison Chambers. Cameron Johnson with the ball on the right. Pass back up to Madison Chambers, top of the key. Passage wide open. Pass down low on the other side of the floor to Cameron Johnson. She puts up a shot under the basket that is no good. Chelsea Passage with another steal. Cameron Johnson with another shot, no good. Madison Chambers with the rebound. Knocked out of bounds by Spiro. That is 10 shots underneath the basket. No good for the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs. We're going to have a substitution for Spiro. Inbound pass, Taylon Collins. Over to Madison. Back down to Taylon Collins. She's going to spin around and pass it out to Passage. Shot up is good. Boy, Chelsea Passage can shoot a basketball. Here's the inbound pass by Spiro. 21-7. The Muldrow Lady Bulldogs are on top. Pass over to half court. A lost ball. Madison Chambers comes up with the ball, and that's going to be Tylea Clayton. That's another foul on her. That's going to be 16 fouls on Spiro. We've got one more until we get a 1-and-1 situation going on. Madison Chambers taking the ball out over to Passage. And they are taking direction from Coach Armour before they move down the floor. Here comes Passage. Over to Madison Chambers. And Hannah Boyette can't hang on to the ball, and that's going to be taken away by Spiro. That was a bad pass in all fairness. Ball on the right side, down into the right corner. Madison Chambers looking to take it away. We got I don't know what happened there. White 32, I guess, is going to get whistled for a foul. I didn't see her anywhere near the ball. Nope, they're going to call that on Madison for some reason. There's Chelsea Passage with another steal, but they're going to call her on the line out of bounds. Inbound pass by Spiro now, all the way out to the top of the key. Pass over to the left. Nowhere to go, really. Cassidy Means with the ball for Spiro. She puts up a shot from the high post, no good. Rebounded by Passage, and she's going to take the ball and hand it off to Cameron Johnson. Hannah Boyette all the way down to Taylon Collins. Beautiful pass off the glass. That's good for another two. 23-7 now. Muldrow on top of Spiro. Hannah Boyette going to reach, get whistled for another foul. And that's going to be Hannah's second foul of the ball game. Maddie Reeves coming in now for Cameron Johnson. And I would not be shocked to see Hannah Boyette have a seat here in just a couple of minutes, just to keep her out of foul trouble. Plus, we've got a pretty decent lead going on here. More than tripled, 23-7. Muldrow on top of Spiro. We've got about 4:18 left in the second quarter. Here's a pass to the high post and a drive. Shot no good by Cassidy Means. We're going to have a jump ball, and that's going to go back toward Muldrow. So Madison Chambers taking the ball out, throwing it into Chelsea Passage. Somewhat of a different looking lineup here tonight with Jalen Mays out of the game. Suspended for one after the fight at home against Roland last week. Not much of a fight, but that's what they called it. Madison Chambers over to Hannah Boyette, over to Madison again. She fakes a shot, passes it down to Maddie Reeves. Maddie loses the ball, but Hannah Boyette's got it. Top of the key, money ball, three-point line. 26-7 now. Muldrow leads. Taylon Collins with a strip down low, and she throws it away. And that is going to be spiral ball out of bounds. Lady Bulldogs with a lot of good hustle on defense. Hannah Boyette knocks the ball out of bounds again. Spyro will retain the possession. Ball out of bounds here. Inbound pass to Cassidy Means. She's sort of a jack of all trades for the Spyro Lady Bulldogs. She's at the top of the key. Pass over. Passage picks it off and cannot hang on to it. She ends up tripping. She would have been gone on a fast break. There's a shot up. No good. Rebounded by Maddie Reeves. Pass over to Hannah Boyette, but that pass is not good. Oh, wow. Looked like a bad pass, but they're going to call it last touch by Spyro. I believe they're going to overturn that. So there's a little justification for Spyro. They need all the help they can get at this point. We've got a sub coming into the game. Chelsea Passage is going to have a seat. Alicia McCloria is back in. Now here's the inbound pass. Spyro going to look at putting more points on the board. It's been a while since they've done anything. Pass over to the left side. Ball on the wing now. Pass back to the top of the key. Looking for a place to go. Pass into the left corner. Alicia McCloria not given any room to go. Pass over to the right side, and a jump shot by Cassidy Means is no good. Swatted away by the Lady Bulldogs. I'm sorry, by Muldrow. And Spyro comes up with the ball. They're all Lady Bulldogs. Here's another shot up. No good by Spyro. Taylon Collins with the rebound, and she's breaking away, but they're going to call her with a double dribble, even though she had her other hand nowhere near the ball. So that's going to be Spyro basketball. JC Cox taking the ball out of bounds. Pass inbound to Cassidy Means. Top of the key. Got to get rid of it. Back over to Cox. Pass over to the right. Knocked out of bounds by McCloria. And we're going to have another ball out of bounds here. Spyro possession. And we're going to see Cameron Johnson come back into the ball game from Maddie Reeves from Muldrow. Got a little conversation going on over here on the sideline. There's the inbound pass. Cassidy Means for Spyro with the ball. Top of the key over to the right wing. Back to the top of the key. Knocked away by Taylon Collins. Good grief, she's good. And here's a fast break and a shot up by Taylon. She gets fouled by number 10, Tylea Clayton. That might, yeah, that's going to say it's going to hurt her third foul. They're going to have to pull her out. They will lose her early in the ball game. Taylon Collins going to the charity stripe for 2 shots. First free throw up is no good. Bouncing around. These Muldrow Lady Bulldogs are going to have to hone in on their free throws. I don't know how many that is missed as a team so far, but they've got 10 shots missed from right underneath the basket. Second free throw for Taylon Collins is no good. Spyro now with the ball back on their side of the floor. Looking for a place to go. 1:40 seconds. Shot up, down low is good by Spyro. 26-9 is the score now. 1:39 seconds left in the half. Hannah Boyette bringing the ball up the floor for Muldrow. Over to the left to Madison Chambers. Alicia McClory over to Hannah Boyette for 3. Money. Hannah's good for another tray. 29-9. We got a 20-point lead here. Alicia McClory with a steal. She puts up a shot. That's no good. Well, she got fouled like crazy, and then nobody bothered calling that one. Hannah Boyette's going to take the ball out now. And the pass over to Taylon Collins. Alicia McClory for 3. Bingo. Oh, they only give her 2. That's all right. 31-9, Muldrow Lady Bulldogs lead. I was looking right at her feet, and she was not on that line. There's a shot up by Cassidy Means, blocked by Taylon Collins. Another shot up by Means is good. So the Spiro Lady Bulldogs are in double digits before the half. 31-11. 45 seconds on the dot. Hannah Boyette holding the ball over here on the left side of the floor. Cassidy Means trying to get in and play a little defense here. Hannah's going to have to get rid of the ball. There's Alicia McCloria over on the right side. Now Hannah Boyette with the ball again. 20 seconds left in this half. Spiro coming out to play some defense. Pass to Taylon Collins at the top of the key. Back to Hannah Boyette. Muldrow in no hurry. 10 seconds left. Hannah drives, pulls back out. Alicia McCloria with the ball. Back to Taylon Collins at the top of the key. Over to Hannah Boyette. 3 ball. No good. And that's going to do it for the half. The Muldrow Lady Bulldogs have a 20-point lead, 31-11 in Spiro, Oklahoma. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back with halftime stats. You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com. Then we're going to bring you back in live. Folks, they're doing some type of ceremony out here in the middle of the floor. I think I don't know, we have a job to do, so we're going to go ahead and do stats. Tonight's halftime stats are brought to you by Boyette Farms in Muldrow. We want to say thank you to the Boyette family. Dennis, what do you have for numbers?
Second quarter there was the fact that it took until 1:43 to go in the quarter before Spiro could score. And,
what do they do, just call a moment of silence while we're
yeah,
talking? Okay.
yeah.
I don't know what that was about, so we're going to talk halftime stats now.
Anyway, most incredible thing was 6 minutes and 17 seconds goes off the clock before Spiro even scored in the second quarter, and they only took 8 shots in the entire quarter and hit 2 of those, leading the way for the White Lady Bulldogs, or the Lady Bulldogs in white, was 6
Spiro.
points. Spiro was Tobler. She finished with 6 points, 2 points each for Gracie and Cox, and 1 point for Clayton in the first quarter. Pretty balanced scoring for the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs in the first half. Boyette led the way with 10. Hannah had 2 threes and a traditional bucket and 2 free throws. 7 points from Taylon Collins, 7 points from Passage, 3 points each from Johnson and McCloria, and a bucket from Chambers. Muldrow Lady Bulldogs did a little bit better job in the second quarter of getting their shots to go down. You know, you mentioned there at one time they lost 14 points there just under the basket.
20 points under the basket.
Yeah, that they just did not hit the buckets early on, and but they turned it around. They ended up shooting 44% for the half, 37.5% from the free throw line, 3 for 8. The Spiro girls were just 31.2 from the line, or from the field, and they finished 50%, 1 of 2 on the free throw line. So that's where we're at now. It's 31-11, 20-point lead for the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs. And Clint, this is kind of how we figured this one was going to go.
Yeah, I figured it would. I figured Muldrow would come in here and jump out to a big lead. We would see a lot of second-string players. Some of the third-team Muldrow Lady Bulldogs getting in the game already. We'll probably see quite a few more, and that's okay. That's kind of what we expected, like you said, so it's good. But another thing, go ahead.
Well, I was going to make a point that you referred to earlier. In the early going, one of the things that may have slowed down the Muldrow girls is Shayla Mays had to set out this game after the unfortunate incident against Roland the other night. And, you and I talked about it a little bit, and we don't want to stir the pot, but the bottom line was, it's like you said, you and I saw the incident different because I didn't see. You said Shaylin got pulled by her pigtail and was actually wrestled to the ground.
Yeah, her ponytail just about got ripped out of her head. Nobody bothered with that call.
And then when she was down on the floor, the girl that did it actually stepped on her. I don't think she stomped her, but she actually stepped on her. Shaylin got up, and Shaylin threw a pretty nifty right cross, and there you go.
Well, that's what usually happens if you watch the NFL much, which I do, and I know a lot of people still don't right now, but Usually it's the reactive behavior that gets penalized in football. That's kind of what we saw in basketball. And I think that we're going to have they got another lady making announcements on the loud mic. We are going to take another quick break. We've only got 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in halftime. 31-11, the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs are on top. We're going to take another quick break, and we will be right back. You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com. Then we're going to bring you back in live. Halftime is over. The buzzers have gone off. We've got Spyro Lady Bulldogs over here on our side of the floor. And the ball is going to be taken out now. Hannah Boyette playing a lot of defense. She did give me a good smile over here on the sideline, so I know she's in good spirits. Pass picked off by Madison Chambers over to Cameron Johnson. Back to Hannah Boyette. She's going to bring the ball up the floor. Paige Hughes down to Taylon Collins. Taylon with a shot up off the glass. That's good for two. And the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs are up 33-11 now. Here comes Spyro moving the ball up the floor. Hannah gets tripped. There's a little acting on the end of that too. And now there's a shot up by Spyro, no good. Cameron Johnson with the rebound. She's going to have to give it up over to Paige Hughes on the left. Back to Hannah Boyette, top of the key. Madison Chambers for three. Booyah! Sunk it like the Lusitania. Somebody Google that. 36-11 now. Muldrow Lady Bulldogs on top of Spyro all over them. Hey, got a little trip action going on. Pass down low and a shot up is good by Spyro. 36-13 now. 6:50 left in this third quarter. And now here is Spyro after a shot no good. Bringing the ball down the floor over on the left side. Cassidy Means. Pass out of bounds. Same cheerleader. Just got nailed again. They're going to have to move her. Good grief. You think you'd learn after the first one off the teeth. We're going to have to send her to the dental clinic. By the time this ball game is over, Hannah Boyette bringing the ball up the floor.
Official just walked by and said, poor girl.
I think he's feeling sorry for her, too. Cameron Johnson on the left side with the ball. Taylon Collins down low, shot up off the glass, no good. Cassidy Means with the rebound for Spyro, bringing the ball up the floor. For the Lady Bulldogs dressed in white. There's a shot over on the right side. No good for three. Another shot up after the rebound, and that is Talia Clayton. Her shot is up and good. She can only spare two more fouls, Miss Clayton can, or she'll be out of the ball game. Top of the key, over to the left side. Cameron Johnson holding the ball. Taylon Collins has the ball now. Back to Madison Chambers on the left. Paige Hughes with the ball on the right side. Down to Cameron Johnson. She goes up for a shot. And they're going to call a jump ball. Ball's going to stay with Muldrow. All right. Ball inbound pass there to Taylon Collins. They're going to get her with a travel. She got hit trying to go up for a shot at the free throw line. Not a free throw, just a shot there. Spyro with the ball now. Pass over to the right side. Down into the right corner. Here's a little bit of a drive and a shot up blocked by Taylon Collins, and she's going to move the ball up the floor for the Bulldogs. And a shot up off the glass, coast to coast, good for two. 38-15 now, the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs lead. 4:45 left in the third quarter. Time winding down. Here's a pass. Picked off by Paige Hughes. Back over to Madison Chambers, and she's going to drive it all the way in. Put up a shot, no good. Cameron Johnson now with a shot up, no good. Gets her own rebound, goes up again, and gets fouled. The shot is no good by Cameron, but she will go back to the free throw line to see if she can redeem herself from the first half woes at the charity stripe. Well, we're going to get a timeout. Couldn't come at a better time. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com. Hey, we're going to bring you right back in. Playing some Super Mario music. Clint Davis and Dennis McCaslin, todayinfortsmith.com. I used to say we are with Today in Fort, but we are todayinfortsmith.com. I mean, That's basically todayinfortsmith.com is me and Dennis. There's a first free throw from Cameron Johnson. That shot is good. Second free throw up, and that is good from Cameron Johnson. Chelsea Passage coming into the game for Cameron. Spiro Lady Bulldogs bringing the ball up the floor, looking for some points. Down 40-15. Muldrow all over this like a badger on a beefsteak. There's a pass down low picked off by Paige Hughes. Pass over to Madison Chambers, and she is going to dish it off to Taylon Collins, who goes up for a shot down low and gets hammered. No foul called. Spiro comes up with the ball, and they're going to chunk it out of bounds. And I got to touch the ball. Here's Madison Chambers out of bounds. She's going to pass it in to Chelsea Passage. Pass over to the left. Referee's in my way. Can't see who's got the ball. Looks like Madison Chambers. Back to the top of the key. Taylon Collins. Back to Hannah Boyette. Paige Hughes with the ball now. Down to Hannah Boyette on a cut. She puts up a shot down low, and that is no good. But she does draw the foul. Hannah Boyette going to the line for 2 shots. That's one thing I mentioned in the last, maybe it was in the Stillwell game when the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs lost to Stillwell at the beginning of last week, or at the end of last week. Hannah Boyette putting herself on that free throw line will always do the team some good, and that's what she's done. First free throw up is good. Paige Hughes going to the bench. Alicia McCloria checking in for Muldrow. Second shot by Hannah Boyette. Smoking. Right on the money. 42-15. Muldrow Lady Bulldogs lead Spiro. Spiro Lady Bulldogs bringing the ball up the floor now. 0-0. Cassidy Means, top of the key. Pass into the corner. Back down to Cassidy Means. She's got nowhere to go, so she throws it down low. Got a little bit of a travel not called. There's a shot up that is good by Tylea Clayton. She puts another 2 points on the board, 42-17, 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Passage down low to Taylon Collins, up off the glass, good for 2 points. And the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs just keep putting it on anytime Spiro tries to close this gap. Too big of a gap in my opinion, 44-17. But we got to play 4 quarters. That's how they designed the ball game. Here is Spiro over on the right. Down low to Cassidy Means. 2 points up and in good. And Chelsea Passage bringing the ball down the floor for the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs. She's going to hold it for a minute and evaluate the situation. There's a pass to the right to Hannah Boyette. Hannah's going to drive left. And give the ball to Passage for 3. No good. Rebounded by Spiro. Hannah playing some heavy defense. I hope she doesn't reach. Almost a pick set. And Cassidy Means is going to drive in and put up a shot. No good. Rebounded by Alicia McCloria. Ball over to Hannah Boyette. She's looking all around the floor. She's going to hang on to the ball for just a second. Passage with the ball on the right. Hannah Boyette over on the left side. Lady Bulldogs of Muldrow in no hurry. Hannah's going to put up a shot down low, and she gets fouled again. Smart play going back to the free throw line. So Hannah getting set for 2 more free throws. Here's the first shot up by Hannah is good. And Hannah getting set for her second free throw. And that's good. So we are going to have a substitution. I did not know what that whistle was for. We've got a bit of a substitution going on here. Shot up. No good down low. Cassidy Means draws the foul. Another shot up from the free throw line by Spiro is no good. Here comes the second one for Cassidy Means. Shot up, no good. 2 missed free throws for Spiro. And a shot up down low here for the Lady Bulldogs. 2 more points on the board. Spyro with the ball now. Cassidy Means over on the right. Ball down into the corner. Brianna Dawes now in the ball game for Muldrow. Spyro looking for something to do. Almost gets it stripped away. We're going to get a double dribble. And here's the inbound pass from McCloria to Chelsea Passage, and she's going to bring the ball up the floor. She's going to hold it. 40 seconds left. Taylon Collins with the ball right past half court. 20 seconds left now in this third quarter. Passage with the ball now and a dribble back in and out. 7 seconds left. We're going to get a double dribble by Passage. And the Lady Bulldogs held the ball for all that time for absolutely no reason. Spyro with 3.6 seconds left. They're going to get an opportunity to go down and throw up a junk shot. 1 second left. There's the shot. That's no good. And we are going to take a quick break if we can. I'm having problems with my computer screen. We're going to take about a 60-second timeout. We'll be right back. You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com. Then we're going to bring you back in live. Final score 60-28. Muldrow Lady Bulldogs defeat Spyro. Second time this year they've done so. And we've got something for stats. Our end of the ball game stats are also going to be brought to you tonight by Boyette Farms in Muldrow. Big shout out and a big thank you to the Boyette family for everything they do for us at Today in Fort Smith, making these broadcasts possible. Dennis, what do you got for stats?
Well, a couple of things. Defense was much better for the Lady Bulldogs, for the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs tonight. In fact, no one was able to get into double figures for Spyro. Clayton finished with 8 points. Tobler finished with 8 points. 6 points for Means, and then 2 points each for Hartsfield, Gracie, and Cox, and that's all the scoring, the 28 points for the home team, Spyro Lady Bulldogs. For the Muldrow Bulldogs, they had 12 players get in the game. 10 of them scored, which is the kind of balance you're looking for at this point of the year. Leading the way was Taylon Collins with 15. Hannah Boyette added 14. 7 points each from Johnson and Passage. 5 points each from Dawes and Chambers. 3 points from McCloria on a 4 points from McCloria. She had a 3-pointer and a free throw, and also 2 points from Maddie Reeves there toward the end. The only player that got into the game with any significant time left, that with about 2 minutes to go, was Lacey Smithson, and she didn't get an opportunity to score. But that's your final, 60-28. The Lady Bulldogs of Muldrow impressive again in another district win over the Spyro Lady Bulldogs.
Yeah, and we've got some stuff coming out here about the upcoming district ball game. The district game is going to be played in Muldrow. That's going to, man, I wish this guy on the overhead would give it a rest. We've got Shakota coming back to town again. This is going to be the 4th time this season that the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs have had to play the Shakota Lady Wildcats. That will be the first game of the district. Once that is over with, we're going to see things move back to Shakota. That's where Muldrow is going to play after that's over with. And so that's going to be exciting. That's when we've got our district regional area tournaments coming up, moving all the way up to the state tournament if we can get there. So 60-28, that's going to do it for the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs. The boys are coming up next. This guy over here just screaming on the overhead on the other side of the floor. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to listen to some sponsors, maybe a little bit of music, and we'll be right back.